Happy spring all. My name is Julia Rocchi, and this is The Lesson of the Kayak. The picture shows me sitting in a solo kayak in the middle of a choppy bay, paddle straddled across my knees, strained smile on my lips. Behind me, a gray-green shoreline of trees and hidden cottages. Above me, gathering clouds with God rays breaking through. With my upper torso obscured by my life vest, safety first, you wouldn't know at first glance that I was 8 months pregnant. And you definitely wouldn't know that I had just finished throwing a bona fide tantrum. My husband and I were taking one last weekend getaway before baby arrived, and we'd found a cozy, well-outfitted rental in a quiet outpost of the Chesapeake Bay. The forecast foretold gloomy rain and chill for the duration of our long weekend, save for the afternoon we arrived. So as soon as we parked the car, we headed to the dock to check out the recreational equipment and take advantage of the partial sun and dry skies. Fishing poles, crab cage, canoe, kayaks, only single kayaks though, no doubles. Think you can handle one on your own? My husband asked. Sure, I replied with a level of confidence I hoped would become genuine once we hit the water. We usually take a tandem kayak for a reason. My husband knows how to steer, and I know how to sit. But it couldn't be that hard, right? I owed it to him in his past hours of aquatic chauffeuring to at least attempt it. Loading progressed without incident, as did our initial maneuvers beyond the dock. I was moving mostly in my intended direction, and 15 minutes in, I hadn't capsized. When we turned into the wind, however, my lack of kayaking ability rendered me impotent. The choppy waves slapped my boat. The brackish water stung my legs. My right arm was sore, my left arm was tense, and what did it even matter, because I couldn't direct the vessel where I wanted anyway. The more water dripped on me, the more my arms pumped, the more I moved backwards, the more agitated I became. How foolish I must look, I thought, to be out here so pregnant and bulky, windmilling against Mother Nature. How vain not to admit my limits before throwing myself into the middle of the bay. Where was my natural instinct? Where were the immediate answers? Why couldn't I do what seemed so straightforward when watching others do it? A familiar lump in my throat began to rise. The lump of shame and frustration, usually alleviated only by tears. I trailed behind my husband's kayak in the hopes of experiencing my moment of weakness alone. No such luck. My helpful partner, noticing the widening gulf between us, paused and waited for me to catch up. And when I did finally slink alongside him, he could tell at once that I was a most unhappy camper. Pulling up his paddle and holding my kayak's carry handle, he gently asked, "Honey, what's wrong? Talk to me." Those magic, caring words, the ones that never fail to release the flood, especially when I'm trying to contain it, which I couldn't. "I can't even steer a kayak," I wailed into the void of the bay, empty except for us. "How on earth am I going to raise a human?" As the gray clouds thickened over our heads and the sun sank lower, I poured out every one of my hidden and inarticulate fears. Our entire lives are about to change forever. What if parenthood isn't what I thought it would be? What if I'm not the mother I thought I would be? How are we going to keep our marriage strong? Will we ever feel free again? Will I still get to be myself? And so on, punctuated by angry slaps of my paddle against the water and ugly tears further soaking my bulging life vest. A dam built over 8 months of anticipatory mystery had broken. tired and pregnant, nervous and excited, impatient and annoyed. I was all these states plus wet. A truly terrible combination. My husband, bless him, did not attempt to answer me. He simply listened, nodded, said, "Me too. We'll figure it out together. I love you. Here, let me take a picture of you." That last one caught me off guard. "You want to take a picture of me now?" "Yes. We need to justify you carrying your iPhone out on open water." Today, 6 years after that picture was snapped, I see in the shot what was invisible to those who weren't there, like the tears on my cheeks and the blisters on my thumbs. But I also see what was invisible to me at the time. Chiefly, the sun rays defying the clouds and searching for reflection on the water below. They illuminate how this photo captured more than a moment in time. It captured a transition to a new state of being. Parenthood, like love, like spirituality, like any examined life, is an unbroken string of unanswered questions. I can rail against them, which, let's be real, happens often, or I can use them as a tool for discernment. In either case, my now big kid, oblivious to the active currents beneath my calm mom surface, begs for snuggles. And as I hold his warm, growing body close, I can more easily imagine the not-too-distant day when I put him in a kayak, point him toward the horizon, and say, "You've got this, honey, just like me."